Welcome to the Starsequence podcast. Woohoo, episode 38. How's everyone been?
Yeah, pretty good.
I am joined tonight by Gremlin, Mishka, who is being displayed as Pudding Chan, the QQ
Hi.
and Raindrops, and a
Hello.
semi-here Templar gamer who is
Yeah,
going
Templar's
to
just listening in.
plot our demise and going to gas all the furries. Because
You make it sound so mundane.
Because it is with you. You say it so much, it's no longer funny. It's just boring. So, Mishka, how you been? What?
That's what I got out of it.
That's mouthful code for 1 second.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm pretty
I'm
alright.
not going to ask what your
lately.
mouth is full of.
I'm afraid of you, bitch.
All of that fucking fur fag cock we even ever need to ask.
Is it QQ or Raindrops?
Sounds-
Or are you stealing my gremlin? You've been stealing my gremlin on the side, haven't you?
That is the one thing you do not need to worry about.
Wait, you saying he's not adorable enough?
Nope, he's not good enough for me.
Ooh. You hear that, gremlin? If you're actually there?
Oh, come on, quit. Stop stirring up infighting and get on with it.
So,
QQ, is your ass recovering okay?
What?
Is your ass recovering okay?
From what?
From Dan.
Oh, yeah. It's well trained.
Play.
you people. I'm no better.
That's what we're here for.
So, Mishka, what have you been up to this week?
I know, I was just about to take a bite. I've been just playing games lately.
What games?
Witcher 3 mainly.
Ooh, you beat me to it.
Huh?
You beat me to it before I even asked. What games?
I don't know I know your MO by now.
If you haven't, I would be very disappointed in you. Raindrops, how you been?
Could be better, but I'm still here.
What have you been up to?
Different things. Mostly Doom. Playing a bit of Project MSX, and also running through Heretic.
Okay. QQ.
I got 2 new toys.
You have
What?
no
not that
idea
kind.
the many
Oh, man.
numerous ways I can twist that, good sir.
No.
shit.
I'm going to outline what both of them are. The last one is something we talked about last podcast, and that was the Retro Freak. It actually arrived, and I'm experimenting with it. Well, before the podcast, I was experimenting with it a bit. I managed to save my Pokemon from certain death. Basically, the old Pokemon Red and Blue used your standard RAM, battery-backed RAM for the save, because it was more economical at the time than something that was like flash memory, which was more expensive, but would basically keep forever. What that meant is that when the battery died, though, you'd lose your save information. And in theory, those batteries only have about 20 years of life, so it should have been dead already. But anyway, I plugged my cartridge into the front of the Retro Freak, it's one of those multi-console consoles like with all the cartridge slots on it for different ones. But it also has the feature of it will instantly dump things to SD card when you plug them in. Or if you're sneaky, you can just put things on the SD card and have it load them up. You know, either way. Anyway, the moment I plugged my Game Boy cartridges in, this was red and blue. It instantly not only dumped the game to the SD card, but also dumped the save as well. So now they're saved forever, and I don't have to worry about them dying from horrible battery death. It's more of a symbolic thing than anything, though. They were the Pokemon that I was raising when I was a kid, and they're pretty much trash. But yeah, I saved them.
Wow.
I saved my old team. The other toy is a Elgato streaming thing. So I can plug in my N64 and I can actually stream it on the internet, like the real thing, instead of all those people who are streaming the emulated versions, which aren't as accurate.
I've got one of those, but I got a shit one. I got a Roxio. I should have gotten the Hoppage instead.
Yeah, the Elgato was like really expensive, but it works. Whereas the other one that I had gotten before didn't work because it, for some reason, so I have this thing that converts S-video to HDMI, and it does a really stellar job. But the issue with that is that in the process, for some odd reason, it actually adds HDCP. So it adds copy protection to when it converts the analog stream to HDMI, which is just dumb. I don't know why. Anyway, the reason why this ended up being a terrible thing is because the other capture card that I owned before respected HDCP, so it would absolutely refuse to show a picture. Anyway, the Elgato doesn't care at all about that, so it's able to show the picture just fine. And I did get an adapter for the analog straight into the Elgato, but it doesn't work quite as I wanted it, mostly due to my TV. I can plug the analog straight into the Elgato with this adapter, and I can stream it then, but I can't actually... The TV pass-through, my TV just says that the resolution is unsupported, so that's a bit of a pain.
We need to take a minute to appreciate how QQ almost murdered me a little while ago.
What?
I have pepper in my throat because of you.
So that was so I kind of have to do the hacky thing where I convert it to HDMI first, then pipe that through the Elgato, which works just fine, and then I have to rescale it back down to 4:3 resolution instead of 60:9 resolution. It all works though in the end, and it produces a really good crisp picture because the deinterlacer within the thing that I was using is quite good, and unless the frame rate drops a lot, you don't really see those interlacing lines.
Alrighty.
So there you go. That's what I got, and I tested them out, and everything's working. And I had to do 2 firmware updates on the Retro Freak because the latest firmware requires you to be on a newer firmware than I was on in order to get the latest one, which is a big pain. But it worked eventually.
Well, after all that tech talk, I believe all of our viewers have left.
Or they got even more interested.
In summary, I'm going to be able to stream old games.
Ta-da. Wasn't that a lot easier to say?
No. Everyone wants all the nitty-gritty details because they're as nerdy as I am. I'm sure of it.
Or nerdier. I'm gonna say they're nerdier than you.
Yeah. Yeah, anyone who's left listening after me just ranting on about that, probably.
Look at all this gold I'm just collecting now.
What about you, Dan? Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
Ram.
Grim, you there? I'm gonna assume he's AFK. Off doing this.
Moving on.
Tempo.
What?
How was your week?
Shit, I'm stuck on a crappy laptop
That's all.
because mine broke. So, yeah, just moving along. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. So, I am playing Gauntlet for the first time. It is really fun so far.
Which gauntlet?
The new one.
There's a new gauntlet?
Not new.
Oh,
The
the
new
new
one.
one that's just called Gauntlet, though.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Last time I played Gauntlet that I remember was Gauntlet Legends on the N64.
I have played some of the other Gauntlet games. And,
Oh,
yeah.
comes
They're pretty
memory
fun.
lane.
What?
Here comes memory lane.
No.
He's gonna reminisce about his memories. Or he's just gonna sit there like a lump.
No, I don't remember it that well. It was ages ago. It was so long ago that I barely remember playing it. I do know it's a game that doesn't emulate very well, so we could be one of the few people to have a stream of it.
Well, that would be the old games.
How's the new one?
Top down, looks very, very nice. Moves fluidly, and I'm currently using mouse and keyboard. It's pretty nice.
Oh.
It's like Diablo with the control scheme.
So
What color and
Red
class
Warrior.
are you? You're the Red Warrior.
Red
as
Warrior
opposed
needs
to the
food
blue
badly.
warrior?
Is player 1 always red?
Yes.
Okay. The arcade versions of the Gauntlet series had the most manipulative mechanic ever. Do you remember that?
Is that all? Was there any more?
How it would suck. Its method by which it would suck quarters out of your wallet.
No, I don't know.
Okay, this is how the old Gauntlet games worked. And this is even Gauntlet Legends Arcade did this too. Right, the first Gauntlet did this. Every Gauntlet that I remember from the arcade did this. There may be some exceptions, but I've never played them. How it worked is your health constantly decreases at a steady rate. And you can usually sustain it because there's usually enough food on each level that you can stay alive. However, if you get hit enough, your health will start declining. You know, your health is no longer on track with the level of food, and it'll be too low, and you'll just naturally die after a while. So what you have to do is you actually have to put quarters in,
A
which
big
will
stone
raise your
summoning
health
more
again.
monsters? Is that supposed to make me scared?
So it's basically a combination of timed play
I laugh in
and
your face.
life play. I don't know how else to put it.
Oh, he finally started taking damage. And also, the game gets annoyed at you and mocks you whenever you end up destroying a potion or food. It said, the warrior really loves killing things. He loves killing things far more than eating.
I hope your food is already dead, though. Unless you're eating all, like, prawns or something.
Shit. Damn.
You're gonna kill Mishka at this rate, QQ.
What did Kiki say?
Good.
I thought you was choking up because it was what his comment was.
Alright, good. My prawn jokes are not lethal then. I'm reassured.
Anyway, so then, shall we discuss our topics?
Let's do that.
We all seem to be just kind of slow today, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, our first topic we're going to discuss is involving. Hey, what are you laughing at?
Okay, this is gonna be a bit vague. Do you remember the thing Dan shared earlier? That picture? That picture?
Hillary Clinton one?
Yes, that one. Without going into detail, do you remember? Yes, no.
Not top of my head.
Which one?
The shade-based one. Someone linked it on Voat.
Yeah, I found a comment that said, please, if you could contact the internet's driver, I would like off at the next stop. In response to that.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not on Twitter or anything. Okay.
So,
our first topic is
for those watching who don't know what we're talking about, should I explain what we're talking about?
Please don't know.
No.
Okay.
We really should not.
Go
that
to
you would
Voat,
enjoy that.
go to Voat, v/WTF, then search Hillary Clinton. It should be the top thread. Or just on there. You don't even have to search, actually. It should be the top thread there.
Oh, hey. Here's something we can talk about. Do we want to get into internet politics at all? I found something
Probably
good.
not. What is it?
Schools should teach girls how to masturbate.
Nope.
Nope.
What?
And by the way, when I say nope, I mean
go
nope.
dump it out.
I'm not discussing that. I'm not
Then you can watch.
stating an opinion on it.
Donald Trump's campaign. No, we're just gonna leave this out. Never mind.
Since when did this become a political podcast?
Since we had nothing else to talk about.
We have things to talk about. As a matter of fact, Kota's going to introduce them now.
No.
I could if you don't want to.
Is Kota here?
I think he's muted laughing.
Uh-oh.
Okay, what's going on?
Uh-oh.
Hopefully we're not crashing here.
Someone have an eye on the stream to make sure we're still live.
Give me a second, I'll get to it. I'm going. I'm on my way. Are we still live? Are we? Well, by golly, we do seem to still be here. Oh,
We are still live.
yes, we are. I just said that.
Oh, well, I was hearing the stream audio, so I was a little bit slow.
No, I have it pulled up here. We're still live, but Kota's thing's just sitting there.
Uh-oh.
Oh
User
boy,
joined your
his
channel.
that family must have come in.
We're live.
Really? Nothing is sacred. Nothing at all. Oh boy.
So, first topic was what? Does anyone remember what the topic was besides Kota?
We
Avadon 3 just released a couple days ago.
we didn't really have topics. We were just gonna kind of talk about shit today.
So what game is this?
Avadon 3, the new Spiderweb software RPG.
Okay, Spiderweb Software. That's a name that's not familiar to me.
They do old school RPGs and mostly turn-based strategy.
Old school RPGs and
So I'm back.
turn-based strategy.
Oh.
Okay, so what is this new game called?
Avadon 3.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
I linked it in the chat. You still have that?
Finally,
yeah, I still have
more
it.
things to smash.
Avadon 3. Thydrin says that they've been around since the 90s, so they're...
Yeah, it's mostly one guy writing them, but he's got... I'd have to look at the credits. I know he does a text and a lot of the other stuff. Like these are big text-heavy RPGs. Like they're basically novels at this point with RPG mechanics, like battles, you know.
Hey, Dan, guys.
Yeah.
You know how Jimmy Fallon had Trump on the show and he got to ruffle his hair?
We're not doing politics here on this pod.
No,
This
this
is
is
what
political.
true
It's
strength
Okay.
means.
he had Hillary Clinton on tonight and he wore a medical mask before
Oh,
she came
boy.
out.
I'm gonna expect another shitstorm.
Hey, you know what? It's funny. Oh, there you are, Kota. What happened?
Family. I apparently had to go and run out to the trash can and dump out the pot of chicken water
Yeah, he'll be alright.
in the rain.
I hope you didn't. You didn't dump chicken water into the trash can, did you?
He put it where it belongs, in the trash.
Yes, because my dad doesn't like making soup.
Then he picked up the trash can
You
and
garbage people
booped
must
him
hate
right
you.
on the head.
Oh no, it went into the
Uh-oh.
dumpster. Actually,
Garbage
across,
day.
It went to the dumpster across from our house.
Okay.
We're referencing too many things to do with trash right now.
Anyway, so yeah, I had to do that because hey, they didn't want to do it themselves, and I had to right then and there.
Yeah, whatever. It'll be fine.
So I wanted to talk about video games that get movies, and there's two recent ones coming out.
Oh boy. Which ones?
There's gonna be another CGI Resident Evil movie.
Really?
And, yep.
Those aren't half bad.
Yeah, they're not half bad.
I know the final live action one's coming soon.
Yeah, and also
But I like this-
Monster Hunter is getting a movie. And
Oh, hey, quick something.
A Hollywood movie.
Like something I learned
Correa,
yesterday.
Larry Correa must be happy about that.
Yeah. So Larry Correa,
Keep it
for those who
coming,
are not
Morak.
familiar with the world of familiar with the world of literature as Raindrops is, Larry Correa writes a series of science fiction /
And the
fantasy
crowd
novels
goes
called
wild.
Monster Hunter, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Monster Hunter. So the fact that
video.
they're coming out with a Monster Hunter movie and it has nothing to do with his books means that if they ever try to make a movie version of his books, it's going to be very, very confusing, and some trademark lawyers are going to be fapping vigorously.
Ha ha! You create, I destroy.
Yeah. And considering how popular the books are, I imagine that someone does really want to make them into a movie.
This is what true strength
It is a pretty
means.
long series, so you could potentially have the next Harry Potter or whatever. Maybe not that popular, but you know.
Huh, so what looks like a potion button is actually an explosive explosive potion button. I thought it was, health potions. No, it's grenades, basically.
So, yeah, Kota, you mentioned the movies. Anything interesting about them?
Well, I just now had to pause the game. Okay, there we go. So I can actually talk. Okay, so the CGI movie is gonna come out in Japan, and I need to get up that date again. And who keeps painting?
Thydrin is talking about
Oh, it's Slide.
what's he talking about? A sequel to what? Oh, Divinity Original Sin.
Ah, yes, that's in early access now.
Huh.
Okay, spring 2017.
In before I'm accused of being a furry, by the way.
Too
Well,
late.
that's
Early
what
R.
happens when you go into Starsequence.
Yep.
You
Apparently,
are furry.
Poland is getting special edition Witcher 3 stamps. Official post office stamps.
That's cool.
Well, of course, that's like their baby. That is their Harry Potter.
You know what's funny is in Poland there's
Like-
actually a TV series and movie.
Like, I don't think people in America really understand the importance of that series. Like, it's like Obama, when he went to Poland, got a free copy of the book.
I thought he got a free copy of the game.
No,
Maybe
because I
that
know
too,
he'd
I
never
don't know.
touch it.
Implying he ever read the book.
Impressive. You've cleared your first hurdle. It will only get worse from here.
I got a crown. I got a crown.
Wait,
I scored a 4. Hooray!
wait.
Okay, so first one's gonna premiere in Japan 2017, and it's gonna be called Biohazard Vendetta. And apparently we're gonna have
Oh, Temple, I just found the thing we mentioned.
Leon Kennedy and Chris Redfield.
Oh, okay.
The movie will have the Grudge creator on board as executive producer.
You know, it'd be actually kind of cool to see Chris in those movies.
Okay. I can't be the
Wait,
only
what?
one who thinks that the male protagonists of Resident Evil games are totally, like, gorgeous. Like,
It depends which game.
Straight as an arrow?
Name which game. Which game?
what?
Which one?
Well, Leon Kennedy, for example,
Which
in
game?
Resident Evil 4.
Okay, I gave you that one.
He's, like,
Exceedingly good looking.
the perfect physique.
Yeah, but then in 6 they just kind of ruined it. He let himself go. Huh.
I'm gonna put on my sunglasses at night and say, what a shame.
So you can watch him while he's never mind. I can't continue the reference to the song because I don't remember the rest of the lyrics. But anyway, apparently this story will be similar to original Resident Evil, with a mansion. So, Grudge creator on board, and it'll be directed by Tanaka Takanori Test.
None of us know who it is, so don't pain yourself pronouncing it.
If you
Well,
if you post the name, Rain can pronounce it.
Yes.
I could.
You know me too well, QQ.
But
Okay.
yeah, if y'all want an example of a game I consider good, One Hit Way Heroics.
Well,
And
that's good, but
recently
we're
they did a
currently
remake of it.
We're currently talking about new movies to games that's coming out.
Movies of games, eh?
Takashi.
Yes.
Takashi Shimizu.
Takashi Shimizu. I almost got it right.
Thank you, Rain.
And
Why in the hell would anyone want
No
to do
trouble.
more of that? Keep in
More
mind, this
movies of
sort of
games?
stuff. Yeah, movies and games. It's like it almost never works. I mean, what? There have been exceptions like Sweet Home. That was the best. I mean, that was fucking solid. And for reference, if y'all are wondering, it's where Biohazard / Resident Evil got its inspiration from.
yep. And this
Also
is
was a horror
being
movie.
directed by the other name.
If it's you, Boyle, I will laugh. My sides will be gone.
Hey, wait a minute. The Postal movie was good.
What is that? Oh, wow. Really?
So, Titan,
That didn't take
that
long.
movie is going to be a CG one of Resident Evil. Those aren't too bad.
Oh,
And the Monster Hunter Hollywood adaptation.
I thought the Monster Hunter one was Japanese.
Monster Hunter gets a Hollywood-made film adaptation.
It's debuting in Japan first.
Yes. This movie was announced at this year's Tokyo Game Show. Game producer... I'm just going to skip the name. Point out the movie isn't related to stories, instead an adaptation of the main series. First details weren't confirmed, but you can probably imagine whichever Hollywood pits rights up will probably aim to make a live-action film. So it's not even confirmed if it's going to be live-action or not.
Live action can only go so far.
When did this live-action movie surpass this animated masterpiece?
So
I don't
have a
really know the
question.
modern stuff with that sort of thing. I mostly just know the old movie tie-ins, and some of them were actually not. Labyrinth was a neat one. Yes, they did a game of a movie of
This
Labyrinth.
place makes my stomach turn. Let's find something to kill. What?
Oh,
No.
what's the game for Labyrinth?
What's
Any
that thing
good?
doing here?
Yes.
It's not time yet. I would
Not the
run
best,
if I
but
were
pretty
you.
good.
You cannot defeat death in combat.
It was only released in Japan though, but it got a translation patch. Apparently your health was measured in time remaining. Every time you got hit, you lost time. And your
That
goal is to make it
reminds
to the
me
end.
of what the mechanic I just brought up in Gauntlet. Kota's playing Gauntlet right now to stream it. One of the Gauntlet games.
Ah, okay.
But the original arcade Gauntlet, and I think all the way, including Gauntlet Legends, those are the two I really played in the arcade, was Gauntlet and Gauntlet Legends.
Yeah.
Both of those had a mechanic where your health would tick down constantly, and you'd have to feed it quarters in order to stay
Treasure!
alive.
You get the idea. This game had a similar mechanic, except instead of feeding it quarters, you ended up finding little timepieces. But the thing was, the enemies that hit you varied wildly in damage from minutes to seconds to hours in the
Ooh,
later areas.
ouch.
Hours? Like real life hours?
Keep in mind, you have hours to get in. I think it's 12. But in the later areas, that isn't going to last you that long.
Why would they put death
So what platform
as
is
a
this for?
constant chaser?
Nintendo. Same for Sweet Home.
Shit!
Ah,
Keep in mind, I tend to know older games, dude, not the new stuff.
I think Kota just got wrecked.
Yes, I got
So,
wrecked by
I think-
Death.
Oh, Death? You gotta use a potion.
Oh, guys, I like that one part of Snake Eater.
No,
it's
potions
a-
don't
it's
do
a-
anything to him.
What?
He's just a constant chaser.
No, potions are what's supposed to dismiss death. That's been a gauntlet thing for, like, ages.
The potion just, I throw it and then it does an AoE damage.
Really?
Yeah,
Sounds lame.
and Death.
I'm thinking back to...
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, Gauntlet Legends, what you had to do is you always had to save a potion, because that was how you got rid of death.
Death as an undead skeletal death.
Yes.
Well, I'm being chased by Death, and he comes and goes, and if I get in his blackness a little bit too much, I get sucked into him, then instantly die.
Huh. Huh. I don't know what to say to that.
I hunger.
For flesh.
I am Sinistar. Don't mind me.
Why
I'm
not?
on a Nintendo kick.
It's a bit hard not to
we
mind
will
you.
mind him because he is a filthy weeb degenerate.
What? the
Sinistar is not weeb shit, dumbass.
I'm not
Yes.
even referring to that. I'm referring to all the RPG Maker bullshit you keep linking in here.
That's
What
not
the
RPG Maker, dude. That was a professional publisher.
No,
Sunsoft
beforehand, you
is
do
a pro, dude.
constantly do link to RPG Maker games. Oh god, why does
Not
Death
just
have the
RPG
ability
Maker
to
games,
just...
but also
over
related
it?
ones.
Nah.
You probably can't even tell the difference between Wolf Engine and RPG Maker, you fucking pleb.
Okay.
I did it for the lulz.
Well, you are lol, so that's okay.
Good times.
I claim my bounty.
So, I guess the most important question about these movies, though, are any of you actually planning on seeing any of them?
Why
I
the
might-
fuck would I bother watching movies? They have
Yeah.
been trash for ages. You know the last good movie? Groundhog Day.
What was the last good movie, Grandpa?
Day
Groundhog
woke
Day.
hipster.
To give you an idea of why it's good, so many movies have been inspired by that particular one that it ended up getting its own trope. It's a high concept. The Groundhog Day loop.
I live again.
And its influence is still felt today.
What is Hot Tub Time Machine for 900, Alex?
Kick.
Something nobody watches.
But yes, that would be an example of a movie I would consider good. Fortunately, the vast majority is utter dreck. I can still be entertained by movies, but I won't say they're actually good.
In before he starts saying all your cape shit movies are shit.
Well,
They
they
are.
are.
Go die in a fire, good sir. That is all.
Dude, I consider Keep Shit to have been shit for ages. And I'm still mad at the Comics Code fucking up comics like they did. It could have been so much more potential.
But y'all fail to explain why they are shit.
Okay.
He
the
does bring
problem
up
with
good
points,
Cape
though.
Shut is simple. They have a narrow band of acceptable norms being put into play, at least until very recently, whenever SJWs took over. Relatively recently. And what they would do is they'd end up repeating the same fucking storylines every couple of years. This was at the beginning in their height, whenever they were actually popular. You know why they did that? Because they figured that little dumbass children would only pay attention for a couple of years, so they just recycle the storylines and fuck everyone else. You know, they turned what was an adult fucking product that had a wide variety of books into a children's toy. And then people wonder why comic book sales went into the fucking shit.
But everyone always viewed comics
Okay,
as
here's a
children's
problem.
thing.
Here's a problem I
Begin
have with
with.
that.
Keep in mind, I'm talking about the 40s and 50s.
We need to talk about continuity.
Yeah,
'cause
I'm
that's
gonna go ahead
that's
and
an extremely
assume you're
important.
going to just leave everything. I assume you're just gonna ignore everything that happened after the late 50s, then, for the sake of this argument.
I'm not ignoring it entirely.
Let me talk about
Warrior
continuity
is
because
back.
I need to bring something up. Because I've never had a discussion with any of you about continuity because as it stands, there seems to be two camps. A camp who says, who cares about continuity, and the other camp who doesn't. Right? And mostly it
Depends on
seems
the
like
story.
SJWs seem to hate continuity. But I will explain something. Okay. There's a franchise called Kingdom Hearts.
Ding, 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 ding.
One of the issues
Good
that
God!
every
even
single
more
person
weird
has about Kingdom
shit.
Hearts is continuity. The fact that everyone's asking for a third Kingdom Hearts game, even though when they play it, they possibly won't know what the fuck is going on. Mostly
We're still
because they
talking about the
haven't
game
watched
where
the stuff in
Mickey Mouse characters are playable, right?
Now, the reason why I bring that up is because, okay, Cake Comics, all right? Cake Comics has been going on since the 60s, right?
Earlier.
All right. Now, if you ignored all the retcons that constantly happen just to keep everything current, you have about years upon years worth of content to go through that most people will not fucking understand. So when a new person picks up a comic recently, they're going to be looking at it going, what the fuck is happening? I don't understand any of it.
Which
Well,
is
what do you
also
know?
retarded in its own way.
Ah.
You
But
pick up the middle
You're
Harry
still
Potter book and
alive.
start reading, you're not going to know what's going
Welcome
on either.
then to the
No,
scene
you
of
will.
your death.
But
In fact, you can read a
Let
Will
the
Time
games
book and then
begin.
understand that.
Ha!
Yeah, but there's still going to be
But
things in it
fuck
that you're
you,
not going to understand.
but
But
think
where are
about
all the
it.
spectators?
If you're a person coming into something new, ask yourself this: would you, if a series is 800 episodes, would you start from the? Would you be comfortable starting from the beginning just to watch it to get to the current episodes?
Yes, but I'm a
yes.
nerd.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens.
Actually,
yeah, but
yes.
no normal person is doing that.
So,
I'm
Then
aware of that.
they're not truly invested in the story.
Grim,
Who
why do they
cares
have...
The problem,
what normal
but I
people
agree with you on that.
think?
Because money.
The
if you
problem
want
is,
money, then go
Keep
get a
that up and
job.
you'll stay alive for at least a while longer.
you know what I like
creating
about
things
continuity?
ever.
What I would like about continuity would be a beginning,
I've
a
not
middle,
seen
and an
such
end. The
bravery.
problem
Okay.
with this Cape shit stories is this: they never end. That's why they've been getting in all those fucking snarls over the decades. At least by the end of it, they've been cycling instead of ending and creating new IP.
Okay, Grim. I'll be a little 30. You want a job in creativity? The way you want a job doing creating stories, but your goal is money above all else. It ain't. Don't do Cape Comics.
Thor
Don't
has
do any of
returned
that
from
kind of
the
stuff.
grave
Do
to
romance
slay
novels on
yet
Kindle that you
again.
sell for whatever. Those sell way better than all the others. That or do nonfiction, I guess. I don't know, because I mean that's the thing.
Raid,
Don't-
I think
no,
you're-
Don't go into this thinking I'm going to make as much money as possible. No, forget that. Your goal is to get enough money so that you don't have to be working at a
You
9-to-5
create,
job and using
I
up all that time that you
destroy.
could be spending telling your stories. Yeah, that should be the goal. You'll get money so you can do these rather than do these create these things so you can get as much money as possible. It's the same thing that screwed over EA, same thing that screwed over all these other idiots. Yeah.
What?
Aha! More for
What you're
Thor.
saying makes no sense.
The point is, you
What?
figure
No,
out
let me
what
put it-
resources you actually need. You keep going with that much resources, and then you make what you love. If you're going
me
in
put
there
it-
with the focus on making as much cash as possible, you become a suit. Because you're going to slowly but surely
You
pander
are
to the
no match for
audiences
me.
that will give you the most money rather than what you actually want to do.
Yeah, in summary, if your goal is I'm going to do all this stuff to get as much money as possible, would you rather have that goal or I'm going to do what I'm passionate about and I'm going to use the money that I make off of that in order to keep doing it?
Well, the opposite, but you got to realize comics aren't a passion project of one person making it.
Yeah, they
It's a
are.
business.
They can be.
They could be, but they're not. They're not.
Yes, they
they're
are.
a business.
What-
they're a
what do you think
big.
of
No,
webcams?
they're
Okay,
great
Pansy,
business
but
now.
I'm going to point out that game. Remember that Mystery Chronicle game? And the original one, One Way of Heroics? Well, I end up talking about how it's a nice game. The guy had made his own fucking engine, made the art, made the music, signed the game, and did the entire works himself. Now I'm going to tell you something. That motherfucker can make an entire game that's successful enough to get put into a publisher's hand so they can make a pro-level release of it. I'm sure that you can release a comic on your own if necessary.
Yeah, but dude, we're talking about Marvel and DC. They're not one
They're a
person's
business.
EA
creative.
and Activision.
Dude,
I've
if
got
you're
a
going to
better
talk about Marvel
answer
and
to
DC,
all
they're
of this.
already
It doesn't
suits,
matter
dude.
what their objective is. They are
gonna
not
state this
making
plain.
money.
They are suits. Period.
Yes.
They've been suits for decades. They are the cancer that has fucked over comics. Period.
Not to
Yeah,
mention they're not even good suits. They're bleeding money out of every orifice.
At this point, yes. They've been keeping afloat due to the movie licensing.
Yep.
And the movie,
Now, what do you
the
think's
movie
going to happen
licensing
whenever
itself
there
is
are
a
previously
business.
decent
It's built-
content?
It's built on getting merchandise sold and having these big names
That ain't a
being
good
filmed.
thing.
No,
I'll tell you
it's
what,
not.
that's one method. Okay, I'm going to say it is a valid method. The thing is, it's not the only way. It's like the difference between trying to get, whenever you're in the writing career, you're trying to get a big-ass publishing house that gives you the advance, you write the book, they end up doing the book tours and all that shit. That's one way, right? At this point, though, you can self-publish, for fuck's sake, and just market it yourself, see if a few people want it, and then you have almost no fucking overhead. There's
The
one
Legion
other way
awaits
for you. Just like
These
I'm
look
sure you
like
can find a way
warriors'
without
graves.
comics.
Champions of the dead, come and
Webcomics
face me.
ideally was supposed to be the way, but what ended up happening there was it got taken over by SRWs. Fucking, God damn, I fucking hate those bastards.
No, there's still webcomics that don't pander to them that are run by one person.
There are, but the problem is a lot of the portals for them. You know, like the bigger portals, like what was that one?
Rattling
That
bones
works.
of ancient
Teen Space?
warriors.
You
Your
know, ones
time
that
is
end up being
past.
portals for
Make
bunches
way
of
for
webcomics
the
at
new
once.
champion.
Started cracking down on certain ones that they didn't like, and it just started to piss me off, and I just packed it in. Anyways.
Well, hey, you can self-publish those too. Just put them up on HIO or wherever.
A recent bit that I've been watching, of course, would be Red Panels, at the risk of sounding
Hey.
political. But
You're
I've
not
been
that
liking their
bad.
dailies. It's been making me
So,
laugh.
Grim, you want to continue talking about Kingdom Hearts?
Nope.
So,
I
Grim,
wouldn't
are
mind
we streaming?
continuing, but yeah.
Yes, we're
Didn't you
streaming.
know?
Oh boy.
When you want to continue talking about comics?
Oh, we're gonna segue into Kingdom Hearts, yes.
Yeah, but I
There's,
don't know much about
I mean-
Kingdom Hearts outside of the first game.
I know, but a recent trailer just dropped this week, and very important that I talk about it. And
Yeah, I'm
it's-
fairly sure that Gremlin can provide enough
yeah,
commentary on it for all of us who are unfamiliar with the topic.
yes. seeing as I've followed every single game and everything. So, okay, so the recent trailer for Kingdom Hearts 2.8 drop, and okay, to get an explanation, 2.8 is the third HD remaster of the of Kingdom Hearts. It's there have been
Are they
currently
kidding me?
there has been currently no let me explain. There's been three Kingdom Hearts HD remasters, and the whole point of them was to collect all the handheld games and all the PS2
Japanese
Kingdom
only.
Hearts games under one disc. And the first two came out was 1.5 and 2.5.
Which I have both of.
1.5 had the first Kingdom Hearts games.
Eat your food. Don't
386
destroy it.
over 2 days as cutscenes, so you don't actually have to play the game. You can just watch all the cutscenes that pretty much tell the whole story. And Chain of Memories as the content, an HD version of 3 games. Kingdom Hearts 2.5 had Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, which is also nothing but cutscenes,
And Birth by Sleep.
and Birth by Sleep, HD ports of Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep, which are actual games, and recoded as cutscenes. I liked how they took 386 over 2 days and recoded and decided, you know what, we can't make a PS3 version of these games, so we'll just collect them all into easy to look at cutscenes, and you don't have to do any sort of heavy lifting or anything like that. Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which is the title of that, say what you will about that, has Dream Drop Distance, which
An
was
amazing
the
feat
3DS Kingdom
for a
Hearts
mortal.
game, which is technically, I would say technically Kingdom Hearts 3, because it's a full game. It's a full Kingdom Hearts game. Birth by Sleep can also be considered a Kingdom Hearts 3 because it's also a full Kingdom Hearts game. It has Kingdom Hearts X back cover, which is cutscenes, but this isn't a game per se, based off of a mobile game. But these cutscenes are not in the mobile game. They're more like entirely new cutscenes. So technically, it's a movie on the disc.
I
And
claim my
last
bounty.
but not least, the demo, basically a glorified demo, which is a 2-hour demo of called Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep,
Finally,
a fragmentary
more things to
passage,
smash.
which is a prologue to Kingdom Hearts 3. But mostly it's a glorified demo to show you how Kingdom Hearts 3 will be playing and stuff.
I've not seen such bravery.
Yay.
So after
Way to
that's
milk all
released,
that money.
after that's released, Kingdom Hearts 3 is gonna come out.
Welcome back, warrior.
So are these at all worth playing?
Yes.
Yes, I want to say as well.
I will say this. Say importantly, if anything, you can get those collections and play those games. 386 over 2 days is not worth playing, which is luckily you don't need to play it because they're cutscenes. And Recoded is not worth playing. All you need to do
Fuck
is
you.
just get the two PS3 HD remasters, and that's about it. And you pretty much caught up to date. Pretty much.
Actually,
I think you
liked
struck a
playing
nerve
both
when you
of
said
those.
it's not worth playing, Grim.
What?
What's
386
funny
over
is
2
I
days?
actually liked playing both of them, although I liked the Recoded more.
I don't know. I never played Recoded, to be fair, but the gameplay of it just seemed so out of place for me, and I was just like, I'll skip
Warrior
it.
smashed
It's
the
Especially
completely
since I got-
schizophrenic.
Since I own 2.5 Remix, I pretty much know the whole plot of it. So at that point,
But yeah, I played it.
Yeah.
The only thing that pissed me off was the, what do you call it, the,
Keep
if
it
I wanted
coming,
to do the big
Borak.
Crucial dungeon, that I ended up having to set the damn thing to sleep mode for eons because they would only have virtual people to
You
give you little
create,
pills and
I
pieces when you set
destroy.
your shit off. It's really
I need
annoying.
to clear something up for people because okay, so a lot of people are overwhelmed by the large amount of Kingdom Hearts games that have been coming out, and I've been patiently and annoyed to wait for Kingdom Hearts 3. But if you're even an iota of interest, if you even have an iota of interest in Kingdom Hearts, I implore you that every single game that did come out, not sure about Recoded or 386 over 2 days, but every single game that isn't those two games, at the very least, well, I can bring
Templars,
Recoded
Mickey
in there,
Mouse.
are
Gosh.
no, I will say that they are all
it's
worth
Squeenix
playing.
Animu bullshit.
I will say
you
that.
know it.
Kingdom Hearts 1 is worth playing. Kingdom Hearts 2 is worth playing. Birth by Sleep is damn worth playing.
A necromancer.
Three Dream Drop Distance is damn worth playing too as well. So it's a weird case with Kingdom Hearts where the games, I honestly don't believe the games are that bad. The only annoying part is the amount of games you have to play just to get to the third game, which is honestly not that big of a deal, honestly, personally, I think, unless you don't really care about Kingdom Hearts plot. That's the only reason why I would never recommend it if you didn't care about it. So
The champion.
I just don't want to buy a 3DS.
Well, you don't need to now.
Keep that up and you'll stay alive for at least a while
You don't need
longer.
to.
Is the whole
All
thing
you need
coming
is
to
a
PC?
PS3 and a PS4.
Oh, when are they porting it to PC like they did with
Never.
every other? But Square Enix has ported like every other game to PC they put out.
Square
They are-
Enix is thinking about porting 2.5 and 1.5 to the PS4, so they'll all be on one console.
It's because they're a Sony exclusive title.
Why?
They might port those over to the PS4, so you'll just have to buy one console to play them all, to experience all of them. Even the 3D
Evil
Chain of Memories is
sorcerers
fine.
always
Honestly, I
make
would
for a
say
great
this. I will say
crescendo.
this: EVA version of Chain of Memories, the HD.
So it's really worth buying a console just for this whole thing?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Having recently played Kingdom Hearts 2, yes.
Dude,
Yes. Honestly,
I've already
if you
played
care,
plenty
only
of the
if you
Kingdom Hearts
care
stuff.
about Kingdom Hearts, I would say only if you care about Kingdom Hearts. Only if you care about Kingdom Hearts.
You know what I'm
Don't
going to do? I
bother.
tell you what. You know what I'd rather play instead at this point? Kyaku Megami Tensei. That's what I'd rather play at the moment.
So if
Guess
you
what that
care
is.
enough about the plot, to be fair, I do have I could link a
I
1 hour
live
video
again.
that pretty much sums up the
Fear
entire
and
plot of
tremble.
Kingdom Hearts in one video.
Fuck that.
Gurutat did a thing called Kingdom Hearts Timeline, which pretty much just sums up the entirety of Kingdom
treasure.
Hearts into one video, and
You
it does a
mean
really
game
good job.
trailers?
Why
of
don't
it.
I just watch someone play?
You can
why
also
don't I just
go on
watch
the internet
playthroughs
online
of-
and watch all the cutscenes if you really want to be bored. I mean, if you really care, if you don't really care that much.
Oh, please, no.
Or we could just let this go, never talk about it again, and go on with our lives.
Now, Mishka,
Or
Here's the thing.
just because you're not
we
that
could
interested in the
lock-
game,
I guess it's probably because me and you come in from different schools of thought whenever it comes to gaming. I focus on the gameplay mechanics.
I will
or
say this.
We could capture people
The
and lock them
story
in a
means
room
diddly squat to
where
me.
they're chained to a controller, and their only way to escape in a twisted Saw-like hellscape is for them to beat Kingdom Hearts.
God damn it.
I will
Now-
say this. I will say
now
this.
let's say this,
Okay,
okay?
if you want to talk about gameplay, I will say this. Kingdom Hearts 1 has not aged well. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best combat system in the entirety of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
Period.
no
It's
contest.
literally
The only
best.
knockout end up.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is
Here's
so
there's
good
only
that I go
one
back
knock I
to
would
it.
say against it.
Yeah.
That fucking cheesy triangle shit. Fucking hate it.
Oh, well, you have to hit the triangle to do.
And it does that stupid fucking cutscene tier attacks. I always hated limit breaks.
If you play it on Prowl mode or something like that, Kingdom Hearts 2 basically becomes a fucking spectacle fighter with the amount of shit you can do in that game. Birth by Sleep, surprisingly, Birth by Sleep is good narratively. Unfortunately, they dialed back the combat system to the point where Birth by Sleep is a weird cross between the first Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. It's a lot less combo heavy, which is probably the only real disappointment about the combat system. Makes me worry about Kingdom Hearts 3 because I kind of want it to I kind of hope it doesn't go down the Birth by Sleep route. I do know that Dream Drop Distance has a very spammable combo system, so I don't know. I don't know about Dream Drop Distance very heavily, but it does have the same sort of flair Kingdom Hearts 2 has, so at the very least. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 combat system is on fucking point. So at the very least, if you wanted to go off of gameplay, you can revisit Kingdom Hearts 2 and have a whole lot of fun with it. Now, on to the newer games, the newest games. We have Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which is like the most ridiculously pretentious title you could ever come up with in a Kingdom Hearts game. Other than 386 over 2 days. We have an HD port of Dream Drop Distance, which is possibly going to run on PS4 hardware. It was a 3DS game, now it's a PS4 game, so we'll see how that plays. Like I said before, you have Back Cover, which is basically a glorified movie in the Unreal Engine. And you have 0.2, which is possibly the most important part to the collection, seeing as it's basically a demo of Kingdom Hearts 3. It uses Kingdom Hearts 3's combat system, its graphics, and it tells an entirely new story from the perspective of the character from Birth by Sleep. It's basically a taste of Kingdom Hearts 3 before Kingdom Hearts 3 come out. And I think the reason why they even releasing that is because how they did with Final Fantasy 15? Actually, it's 15, right?
It's 15.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you do know they Kingdom Hearts 15 had those 2 demos, right? They basically you played and they were basically they did a beta Kingdom Hearts 15, if y'all remember correctly.
Y'all it was basically Final Fantasy 14 Versus.
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's called 14 or 15. God, I don't know the numbers.
14 is the MMO.
Okay. All right.
13,
Y'all
13
know
versus.
about the demos, right? You know about those demos, right? The 2 demos. One of them was a beta of the first of what the combat system will be, which was changed after I guess people tested it. And the second was basically a demo prologue. Basically, I have a feeling 0.2 is that. I do know that the reason why 0.2 exists because originally it was part of Kingdom Hearts 3, but he separated it into its own game because of, I would say, tone reasons. I would say it might be in tone reasons or something like that, or it might not have made sense in context. But new trailer release. There's a new remix to the opening theme, which I guess is going to be used for 2.8. Now, with all that said, all that info, any questions, any comments, any hilarious things I want to say?
When is it coming to PC?
Never.
I will say I care more about Kingdom Hearts than I do Final Fantasy. I will say that. There's a lot of buzz about Final Fantasy, but I don't care about it literally.
Fuck Final Fantasy at this stage, at least on a narrative stage.
Honestly, I care more about. It's the only Phoenix property I care more about.
Dragon Quest is better than both.
Not a fan. Dragon Quest is
Fuck
very
Dragon
plotty.
Quest at a narrative level, although on a gameplay level they're occasionally fun.
Yeah,
I like the Dragon Quest Monster series.
I would play Dragon Quest made by Megaforce. Dragon Quest Heroes. That's the only time I ever really had that much fun with Dragon Quest. It's just too old school RPG for my liking. And I suppose I'm not a huge fan of old school RPG. It's not like I don't hate turn-based. I just hate old school RPG.
I like the exploration aspect.
I mean, you would have to lock me down, put like maybe Dragon Quest 7 in front of me. That's the only one that's I'm even remotely interested in, because it looks interesting. That I would play. I don't think I would play the classic ones because I'm not a big fan of them. The only
new fact.
The only I started playing RPGs during the PlayStation era. All right.
Yeah, clear new fact.
Yeah. So I never owned a Super Nintendo, so I never got to experience the old versions of games. I never got to experience like classic Final Fantasy. I tried Final Fantasy 6 and it was neat for a while, but I didn't get engaged to it. Honestly, the only RPGs that I was even remotely interested in was Chrono Trigger.
Which version of 3 Rain?
The PC The PC port of the DS one's fine. It's like
The
a start.
smashing of that summoning thing.
Because I really
is
like
You know
Chrono
that
Trigger. I thought Chrono Trigger
the
was ahead of
actual
its
Final
time.
Fantasy 3 is a piece of shit.
No, it's great. What are you talking about?
He's talking about the Nintendo one.
The Nintendo one,
Nintendo
you're
and
talking
the
about
DS
Final
one.
Fantasy
It is
3,
shit.
the one they mislabeled
That's fighting
Fantasy
words.
3.
Remember,
Yes, it
he's
is
talking
fighting
about
words.
3 and not 6.
I know.
Yes, sick. Are you talking about actual 3 or are you talking
Yes.
about? Oh, okay.
Actual 3 is
Not-
shit. You wanna know why it's shit?
Not the
I'll tell you
not the
why it's shit.
mislabeled version of it.
Here's a quick reason why it's shit. 1. There is no save points in any dungeon. The only way you can save in the game is on the overworld.
Get good.
Now,
That's
that's not even
a
a get
problem.
good. That's not even a good part. The reason why it's annoying is because, oh hey, the other games had save points. Why don't they? Well, why doesn't this one have save points then? Now the next one is the difficulty
Dragon Quest
scales
doesn't.
ridiculously high. Where
Okay, I'll
once
admit
when you
it's a
get to
bit
the
grind heavy, but
last dungeon, it's pretty much 5 or so bosses in a row, and there is no save point between each one.
Well, that doesn't sound beginner friendly at all.
It's because it isn't.
You pretty much have to go and kill all of them in unison. And then also the classes were very, very poorly balanced. They're all
okay,
crap.
that I'll admit.
Forgive
Yeah,
me,
you probably
I
hated
don't.
5 then.
I've never been interested in like games that are like horrendously
I should
like
just smash that
And
summoning
I have
stone.
played
You would
5.
have hated Stead
And-
then.
tediously
And I
like
beat
tediously
5.
micromanagey, tediously difficult
Impressive.
The end
because
boss, though,
or
I'll never get over.
or a game
That's
that just insults you for grinding.
Yeah.
I hate those games. If there's one type of RPG type I hate is the ones that insult you for grinding. When you grind and suddenly everything is super dumbass powerful because apparently you were supposed to grind or something
Don't
like
play
that.
Dragon Ball Z. He boosts Fury.
Don't play, what was that one? The Last Remnant.
Like you find the final boss is suddenly way more unplayably powerful than usual because you just decided that you wanted to grind in the area for a little bit. I don't know. I prefer the idea of grinding and then getting more powerful than the game because it makes you feel like there's a certain level of accomplishment with that. Honestly.
So you don't like a game that levels with you?
Yeah, I don't prefer that.
Keep that up and you'll stay alive.
Man,
for
I
just a
remember
while
the
longer.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion did that, and in
For me,
a
what I
very
re-
obvious way. And it was kind of funny, actually.
I mean, if you're gonna have
Oh,
to challenge me
shit.
with like powerful
amazing
bosses,
feat
make it
for a
bonus
mortal.
bosses or something. I like preferring that in Disgaea where you can have like where if you beat the game, there's still like these bonus bosses that don't really have an important connection to the plot, but are just rewards for grinding like massive amount of levels and being OP and shit.
For me, what I
prefer
really
that
don't
way
like
more.
is when in an RPG where the entire thing is basically a movie for like the first hour or two, and like they won't let you do anything other than click through the dialogue.
Oh god, I think I hate.
You
I
are
hate
no
like
match for
one
me.
thing that was very difficult for me to get to Persona was that a good part of the opening was like 2
Impressive.
hours of cutscenes or something like that, and like there was no
Which Persona?
real like gameplay until I think it was 3. Well, 4 was like that, but I don't know. I ended up being engaged by the plot of 4, so but 3, oh god, actually I just hated 3 in general. I like the ideas behind 3, but playing 3 was like a test in fucking like
You just like hate everything. Huh?
I don't like the idea of the whole. I didn't like at the time. I didn't like the idea of the whole. You have a limited amount of time to do anything, so it was just sort of kind of like, what do I do today? Do I rest? Do I talk to people? Do I fucking grind? I don't know. I hated that the sort of day thing because it just made everything seem like ridiculous micromanaging crud. I like this guy. I like when it's a choice to do what I want to fucking do, not when I have to do it. That's the main thing with RPGs. Just prefer it better if it's a choice. Like, I choose to be as powerful as I want to be. I choose to do this and that. You have to do this in order to fight the final boss.
The final boss.
Yes. I'm starting to get a little bit with that with Bravely Default, but I kind of like Bravely Default, so I might probably guess I'm going through it anyway. But that's partially why. With Dragon Quest, it just feels like an old game, and what I heard, Dragon Quest games are notoriously hard and
Dragon Quest
grindy
to near hard.
I've not seen such bravery.
Well,
y'all haven't heard hard until you played something like Stead.
Well, fuck! I'm not playing an RPG where like go into a dungeon, then you leave the dungeon, and you're at level 1 again.
Really?
It depends.
You bitch and moan about roguelikes? Come on.
Oh god.
Welcome back, Warren.
I have a
Why
love
haven't
and
we
hate
bitched and moaned
relationship with
about
roguelikes.
This
Where
pleb
no,
until
listen.
he
I
is
have a
memed
fucking
out of existence.
I have a fucking love and hate relationship with roguelikes where I like something like Rogue Legacy, but I hate like fucking like actual rogue like games, like actual like
Rogue Legacy
hardcore fucking
sucked.
rogue games where it's
you
like
mean stuff like Adam.
like you died in this dungeon, now you lose all your fucking equipment, all that progress that you ever did. Fuck
Yeah,
player.
that's because you're a pussy.
I like the way
Yes.
that NetHack
Okay.
did it, and that is, if you died, yes, you lost all your progress and items, but there's a chance that it would save a bones file on your computer, which meant that later you would find your own ghost with all of your items on it.
Yeah, I prefer that. Like,
However, all of your items were cursed, so unless you had a way to because they were owned by a ghost.
Fuck
so unless
me.
you found a way to remove the curse from the items, then they would become fused to your body and would have minuses attached to them.
like fucking
Thor
Shovel
has
Knight. When you
returned
die,
from
you
the
lose
grave
a lot of
yet
your money, but you can just run back to where you died and grab all the stuff that
That
you
was
lost.
so
And
useless, though.
I prefer that. I prefer that way more than you lose all you're at
Your
dungeon level
character is
100.
goes
Fuck you.
wild.
Your character is completely deleted. Like, fuck that. I am not into that.
There used to be
I
a
don't have the patience for
program.
You
I forget
obviously
what it
don't
was
play
called.
visual novels very much, huh?
It was a program that you ran for NetHack that it made a internet database of bones files, and you would like submit your bones files, and you get bones files from other people. And basically, what it ended up meaning is that you'd encounter other players' ghosts occasionally that you were never played on your machine. It would just like swap ghosts with different machines.
I'm trying to figure out the first roguelike I ever played was this Dreamcast game called Time something. I think it had time in it. It's not Time Splitters because that's a first-person shooter, but it was a Dreamcast game, and I remember it being fucking unforgiving. It was the first time I ever played an RPG where I died in a fucking dungeon. It was called Time Stalker, and it was the first RPG I ever played when you die in a fucking dungeon and you lose like everything, your levels and everything. So it's just like, yeah, fuck that. That's not fun.
Graham, you realize that people like you are the reason why video games are terrible now, right?
I don't care.
Yeah, but I want video games to be a building so that I can burn it all down.
I prefer here's me when it comes to difficulty in games though. Like, I prefer where difficulty is something that's like gradual or something, not just like punch you in the fucking chest to fucking start playing the game. But not in there's fun difficulty like something like Dark Souls where you get killed by a big ass monster. That's kind of hilarious. But like when it's like super tedious, you got far, you did all this progress, and guess what? All your progress means shit. Go do it again, fucking bruh. That's not fun.
Yeah, well, there's two different types of progression, right?
Yeah.
Most games, your character will improve over time and will be better able to take on the challenges presented to it, right?
Yeah.
The idea behind roguelikes is to invert that. It is not the character that is getting more skilled and better able to handle the environments. It is necessary for the player to become more skilled and better able to navigate the environments. And in fact, that is who is really advancing.
That's the actual progression, not the character you're playing.
Exactly.
I think
It's like the difference between those scrubs that end up playing fighting games and they think that, oh, if we're just going to be having the characters and we're just going to level them up and get their custom moves and whatnot. There's a certain fighting games that do that sort of thing. And then the ones that simply just want to master the system so they can get better and better at the game themselves. Stuff like that.
I prefer if there's a system behind it that like works. Where I'm not talking about something easy. I'm talking about like a system. Like if it has like I don't know a Devil May Cry level spectacle fighter where you have to learn how to parry properly or something like you brought up fighting games and how like if you go online you might get wrecked in fighting games, but over time if you just get good and learn how to play and stuff, you can get good at. I like systems like that. I'm not saying I'm like every game should be fucking easy. I just hate when there's a roguelike but it's saddled in a sort of like combat system or a system in a game that's really really fucking tedious to get through, like a massive amount of item micromanagement, or the combat's a bit geriatric, or like turn-based in a way that's like annoying or boring or something like that. Like those kinds of plotting, like when the mechanics around the game doesn't work with me, when it doesn't like gel and connect with me well enough, that's where my issue lies. So I hate the idea of getting far in like a good like combat system, a bad combat system, or like a turn-based combat system, only to have to do it all again, only to have to go through all the menus again, do all the tedium again. I basically don't want it to feel like work.
What are you talking about, menus? Dude, go play One Way Heroics.
What?
Go play One Way Heroics.
Not so much it's menus. Like less than $1 on sale.
How can I put it? Because there was some issues I had when I was playing like Time Stalkers.
I'm dead serious. You will like that game.
Yeah, that one lets you save some of your items between playthroughs.
It just basically calls you a bitch if you end up trying to beat it with items.
I just hate that. Like, I wouldn't say menus. That's not a good. But you get. It's just. I don't know. It's just gotta have a system that works. I don't know. Fucking make a.
I get it. It's
Mushu
just...
game. Make a Mushu game. Make like a Dynasty Warrior style roguelike. I will play that.
Why in the fuck would you want that?
Because he loves Dynasty.
Dark Cloud.
This challenge won't be
played that one?
easy as the
I played that one and its sequel.
I'd like to see you get
I like
out of
Dark
this
Cloud.
one alive.
Yeah, that
the
one's
sequel.
But that's not
is
really
way
Dynasty.
better. The
It
sequel is way better. The first one, it was like boring,
It was
tedious.
good. But the sequel, it's just adds so much other shit. Although it would likely drive the average person crazy because of all the various mini games that they had to master to get everything. Fuckers.
Yeah, I finished the sequel. That's how much I loved it.
But I tell you one thing, that golf mini game was a fuck you.
God.
Especially in the fucking sewers. I hated it because I kept getting the damn traps.
I didn't get it. I didn't get how like fucking. This is annoying. I'm trying to figure out why you had to do it. All I know
there was
is
just
that...
a really weak narrative reason, but the gameplay was alright.
Yeah. But otherwise, I loved it. I loved being able to build shit and stuff like that. I don't know, if you play your roguelite and you have shit like that, if you have shit like Dark Cloud 2, maybe I'll play it. Shit.
But yeah, you aren't really much a roguelike fan.
No. Most of the time, like Ultra, PC, Classic, roguelikes, I'm not gonna play those at all.
Pussy. But seriously, go play One Way Heroics. You'll like it.
What's
There's
it called?
also One Way Heroics. There's a basic. Okay. The original game the guy made was called One Way Heroics, alright? There's also an expansion pack called One Way Heroics Plus. Alright? Together, it costs like $9. Alright?
The original's like 2, I think.
The original tends to vary, depends on if you're getting it from Playism or from Steam. Steam, not on sale, is $3.50. The expansion's like $6.50. Together, they're $9. Anyways. I would get the expansion if I'm going to get the original. Because the expansion ends up adding a whole bunch of other shit to it, and little layers of narrative framework as well as gameplay that you would probably like. The remake, I haven't tried very much of it yet. I've just gone through the tutorial. That one's also quite entertaining in its own way, and it's currently $9.
It does look interesting.
But the thing is, it's same gameplay, but differing, how to word it. Slightly differing narrative and the ability to use certain IP that you wouldn't be able to otherwise.
Wait, what?
Keep in mind, this was a professional gig as opposed to the indie gig, so they are able to bring in motherfuckers like Danganronpa into it.
Ooh.
But yeah, I don't know. Having played recent like Dynasty Warriors games, I would kill for a Dynasty Warriors style roguelike with that kind of gameplay or something like that. With like micromanaging and like weapon switching and shit.
Well, make it yourself.
That would be
Shouldn't be that hard. A lot of games do the whole random generation thing.
Because right now there's like Dynasty Warrior games now are just basically spectacle fighters light now because of how much like combat systems are in them now. So you apply that to a roguelike. You can play it where you can like create a character and you can pick between like maybe 100 different like fighting styles, seeing as Dynasty Warriors type games have like 50 characters and shit. And you can go to town learning like new techniques and shit. That'd be fucking awesome. And it's probably because I played Dragon Quest Heroes, and Dragon Quest Heroes lends really well to that sort of idea of making it a roguelike. That would fucking
I'll
work.
admit that I am kind of interested in the Arslan Senki one.
I would love it. It seems with the Mega Force games, it seems like the games that are better are the games that are not called Dynasty Warriors. I've noticed that. Like my favorite like games from them ends up being something like One Piece Pirate Warriors and Hyrule Warriors and shit. Like the mainstay Dynasty Warrior games are just not as fun or interesting.
They're not interested in the main series, only the spin-offs.
Yeah, I love the spin-offs. Dragon Quest Heroes and shit. God. I would totally do that. I mean, I would totally make a roguelike in the style of Dynasty Warriors. If I could make 3D models.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be a roguelike then, though.
I didn't say that. You can do it.
But then it wouldn't be a roguelike. It'd be a spectacle fighter with random generation.
No. You just build the systems around the whole idea, the leveling systems that you have in like Dynasty Warriors and stuff. You're not building it like a spectacle fighter where you earn like items and that's it. It's built around a leveling system in a similar way to an RPG and such. And it has a simpler combat system like the Dynasty Warriors game. Not like a spectacle fighter style. That was a bad analogy. I basically want something like, I don't know, Kingdom Hearts or the Tales series. Like an action RPG, but in a roguelike setting or something like that. Where you can like customize your character's moveset or something like that to get through dungeons or something. And there'll be a cross between having the skill or having the levels. Like maybe you imagine you're under level, right? So you're just weak as shit. And you fight a boss and the boss can take you down in like 3 hits. But since you got a combat system that allows you to dodge and roll and stuff like that, maybe it'll probably take you much longer to defeat the boss, but the boss is still pretty much almost defeatable, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
I guess.
But at the end of the day, they have all the roguelike stuff where maybe you lose all your
Keep
items
that up
or
and
your
you'll stay
strength or
alive for
something
at
like
least
that,
a
and you have to
while
go back and
longer.
do it all again. But it's settled in a good combat system. Maybe the only thing that carry over is like
More
your
for
moveset.
Thor.
I meant it, Rain. You just don't like anything.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
I said Rain, not you.
I mean, shut the heck up.
I just want a good game to play.
I just want to hack and slash.
Treasure.
I don't know. I mean,
The smashing of that
it's
summoning
why I buy
thing
Dynasty
is
Warriors because I just want a
long
good hack and
overdue.
slash experience. Good square triangle fest.
So, we've rambled on about games that we like, games that we don't want to change, and Kingdom Hearts. What would you guys like to talk about now?
I'm guessing none of you seen Arslan Senki.
Oh, there's a Mushu version of that.
What's
I know,
that?
I want to play it.
What is
Arslan Mushi is a anime.
The Heroic Legend of Arslan. It's
Yeah,
sort of an epic fantasy series about
with a really adorable main character.
Oh my gosh, he actually looks like QQ. I just realized.
And now
Who?
Rain.
The main character of that series looks like QQ, except without the ears. Like if you took QQ's persona and made it and humanized it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, didn't you see? The hair is much exactly the same. Just look at the avatar he's got on TeamSpeak.
But his hair is much longer.
No, it's about the same length.
Are we talking about the same character? The main character in Arslan?
Yeah,
Guy with the
the
long
blue
white
hair.
hair?
Yeah,
It looks
sort of
nothing
blue.
like QQ.
Yeah, it's a light blue.
I don't know, man.
Can someone link me a picture?
Okay,
I don't know
hold
how to
on.
spell the name of the game that you're all talking about.
Give me a
It's
sec.
it's a game and a anime. Oh, it's mainly an anime, but there's a game based off of it.
Huh? No, I don't see it.
Okay, what conversation's going
Hold
on
on,
now?
you
What are we
can't-
talking about?
Apparently, Rain thinks the main character of an anime
Yeah.
is like QQ.
Kinda.
Rain, I just think you're too damn infatuated with QQ.
Okay,
See
maybe,
QQ where he's not there.
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
I like the fan art for him.
I've not seen such bravery.
I mean, obviously, if you're going by the original art, of course not. Like from the first one before.
Whatever works.
Whatever works, Rain. Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Whatever gets you jollies.
QQ, you want to talk about something?
I don't know. I didn't have anything else to talk
Thor
about.
has returned from the
The only thing I
grave
cared about was Kingdom Hearts,
to
and that trailer
slay
is so good.
yet again.
At the very least, that trailer gets me hyped.
Yeah, I
That's
just
nice.
don't get.
Trailer.
It's a really
should
really
just
really
smash
good
that summoning
remix. The
stove.
opening theme of Kingdom Hearts,
What trailer
way
are we
better than
talking
the
about?
original.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 2.8 has a trailer.
Oh my god, who still gives
that
a
up
fuck
and you'll stay
about
alive
this
for at
series
least
is
a
what
while
I'd like
longer.
to know.
I do.
I do. Even so, I don't like the narrative bits. I don't like their insistence at releasing random narrative bits at every fucking game system, and a whole host of other issues.
Well, from what I know about Tetsuya Nomura, apparently he just takes the story up as it
I'm
goes.
just more of the can they
That's
please, for
obvious.
the love of God, release Kingdom Hearts 3 already and be done with it.
They won't be done with it.
Well,
Dude,
it's
they're essentially
actually a
ripping off
long
Star
running.
Wars.
It's actually a long running series. Apparently, Kingdom Hearts 3 will end the main storyline, and that's new Kingdom Hearts will create a new storyline.
Yep.
Yep.
And at that point,
Yeah,
they're
I
probably
just
going to be
wanted
losing
come
3
out
quarters
so
of
that it
the
could be
fan
Duke
base.
Nukem forever.
That's a trailer to it. I really like that trailer. Like that
But
thing.
at this point, how do they still have a fan base when, like, I was a little kid when that first one came out.
So I'm just reading up on the reviews in One Way Heroics. Or the commercial
One Way of
adventure.
Heroics actually does look like an interesting thing.
It's a really good one.
And now it went quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, if we don't have any more topics, maybe we should start wrapping things up.
Yep.
Cake and sodomy. There you go.
No, this will be a case of we're gassing all the Weibo degenerates because this was fucking retarded. Thank you and
And
good
before you
night.
gas yourself.
Excuse me, I'm not a Weibo. So
You're just a
go
degenerate.
Guess yourself, Figgy.
I don't think you understand. Furries have developed an immunity to being gassed after what happened at that one Anthrocon.
Okay.
Hey.
Worry,
Okay, so
You
live
do
again.
realize that
update
the
on what
only
I
way,
said
the
about-
only thing that needs to be done, therefore, is pumping it full of a flammable vapor and then lighting a match.
I wanted to
Yeah,
update.
but then, like, everyone will think that they're yiffing in hell, and they enjoy that.
Don't care so long as there is flaming corpses.
Moving on.
I wanted to bring up the whole DW style roguelike thing. I think Tales is a better series to compare as a roguelike, seeing as roguelikes have a lot RPG elements. Tales games. The Tales games have an action RPG style.
I'm going to tell you something. The vast majority of Tales games aren't even remotely roguelike.
Well, no, I'm talking about the combat system.
Now, the combat system's pretty
because
fun.
it's an RPG, and those are the closest I think of
Jesus
action.
Christ,
It's not
people.
really anything like a roguelike, though. The closest ones that end up being roguelikes are the Tales of the World series. The DS one you might like, the PSP one, Radiant Mythology. You might like that one then.
Well,
Why the
my
fuck
point
do
is,
we,
I would like a hacky slashy type of roguelike.
Why
Then
do
But
we
Then
let's
it's
try
not a
it out now.
roguelike.
Why do we
Not
keep calling
necessarily, there are
everything
ones you can do.
roguelike? Why can't we just go back to the example of NetHack or whatever? There's your
Why not
rogues.
Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup? Or maybe you could end up talking about the Caves of Could and so on and so forth. Or
Or
Adon.
FEL if we want to
The
go beyond
champion
just mud dungeon
returns.
TL
bullshit.
sucks.
Rain, go gas
And
yourself.
I've already said One Way for Heroics until I'm blue in the face.
Would you play a Zelda roguelike? Are you saying the combat system wouldn't work?
I'm not saying that the combat system won't work. I was giving you a suggestion for one to play, which was Tales of the World, Radiant Mythology. Since you liked Tales of games, and you liked that style of gameplay, and you liked the dungeons and shit, there you go.
The irony is that the only Tales of game I've liked was Tales of Fantasia. Well, not Fantasia. Tales of.
And yes, I'm well
Vesperia.
aware of that, Templar. He doesn't really like roguelikes. It should be obvious to you.
Yeah, I don't really like roguelikes.
Don't care. Ow. But yeah, it's a case of if you don't like roguelikes, then why the heck have you talked about them for so long now?
I like
He's
the
saying how he would like
idea.
them. If he was to
I
like
like
them,
the
they need to be like
concept
this.
of it. I like
Yes,
the
I'm going to
concept.
say this as plain as possible. I have little idea of the concept of it.
Graham, here's the thing: if they made it,
The reason why I'm saying it this way is this. The point of a roguelike is not for character advancement, but player advancement. Like we've already said earlier. That's the reason you lose everything,
more
ideally,
for
on a
Thor.
roguelike. Because the point of it is sandboxing, and you to explore the world and take advantage of its many mechanics for your advantage. It's not simply to defeat the great foods like your standard RPGs.
Ah.
That's what a
'Cause I
lot
don't
of
know
these
much about
roguelikes
'em.
fail.
I've
Not
not
all of them,
seen
though.
such bravery.
I still loved playing through Dungeons and Dreadmore, the vanilla version, without using magic. And I'll tell you something.
You create, I
Beating that
destroy.
game without magic was a bitch. And I did it almost entirely melee to boot, to give you an idea of the difficulty. I was able to do it. The only
Welcome
time
back,
that I
warrior.
brought out the ranged weapon was the final boss, because fuck that noise. I ended up bursting it about 25 hours into that motherfucker. I was not going to end up getting denied.
The smashing of
I
that
didn't use
summoning
magic, though.
thing is long overdue.
Only way I had a snowball's chance in hell was I was fielding dual wielding.
Ha! I live again.
I was even able to clear the
Fear
monster house in
and
the 7th floor.
tremble.
Okay, here's a question I've been wanting to ask since you're the only genre I never see hear y'all talk about, or I don't see y'all ever have opinion is what is it that doesn't appeal to you about fighting games?
Me?
I
Fighting
don't have
games?
one.
I like some fighting games. The only issue I end up having about fighting games is they become more and more about the style rather than the gameplay mechanics.
For me, the issue is I got no one to play with,
Cough,
so they get old really quick.
cough, cough.
You got Bus
He
Fair?
likes fighting games.
Oh, you mean together?
Yeah,
I mean online.
I don't like playing them online.
Yeah.
I want to know if if I lost, I want to know that it's because I'm not good enough, not because my internet is crap.
I already
That's okay.
know
We need
it's
to-
sad
It's always
because I'm
crap.
not good enough.
We need to what?
In other words, you're telling me that we need to buy a really, really big couch, one that stretches from one of our places to the other of our places, then get a really large TV and some really big controller extensions?
Hey, that'll work.
Nice.
I got plenty of fighting games. I will bring some.
You will bring some, but will you bring it?
And what is it?
Got you there.
The only
Oh,
fighting
you
game
want another
franchise I
shot at
don't
my
own is Street
delicious
Fighter.
soul? You'll never catch Thor.
I got
the
one of those.
unstoppable force.
I have 2 King of Fighters games, 2 of the best King of Fighters games. Little Girls, some indie stuff, and Blaze Blue. Technically, I have all 3 Blaze Blues, but
The fighting game I am best at was for the GameCube, Soul Calibur 2.
Soul Calibur isn't a real fighting game.
Fuck you.
Fuck
My
you.
ass.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real fighting game, even though you don't like it.
I'm joking. Soul Calibur is actually my favorite fighting game franchise.
And and I was so good at Lizard Man. Every single time the game came up for the local game store for the fighting game tournaments that they did, I was number 1 there with him.
One thing I know about Soul Calibur though is that apparently, at least from big fighting game people, is that only certain iterations of Soul Calibur are like FGC ready, while some aren't. I guess depends on the version. I do believe it's Soul Calibur 2 and the last Soul Calibur that came out that were like the most balanced. I don't know anything about Soul Calibur 3 to give you any opinion, but I do know Soul Calibur 4 wasn't very balanced. To be fair, they would have to ban the
I claim
Wars
my
characters.
bounty.
Yeah, whatever.
As long as I get to play as Lizard Man, I'm happy because he's my favorite character.
My best character is
Whichever one's the black guy.
Nightmare.
How I long
Wow, actually,
for
that's
a
right.
rack of lamb.
Yeah. And Soul Calibur 2, he's my best character. Then my second best was Lizard Man.
Warrior.
Lizard Man.
You
I
live
like
again.
new Lizard Man so much more than I like the old Lizard Man. He is so glorious with his axe.
Yes.
Ah, treasure.
Yeah.
You know, I think I like this format of the podcast better.
What's
I
about
do
it?
too.
No, Titan, you can't really give an opinion
War,
because you've been on the
war.
podcast before.
Well, for obvious reasons.
And I'm dead again.
I like this. I like this version of the podcast better than doing the news things, where we just bring up topics that are relevant this week and talk about them, as
Yeah.
opposed to having a set.
Nah. I've done this sort of thing before, where I've brought up topics and it works really well. It depends on if you're doing a news style thing rather than simply commentary and shit posting. If you're trying to set
I
up
want to do an
actual
animation
news-based thing,
podcast later, just so you know.
yeah, I'll give you
Okay.
an example. Say, for instance, you want to do an animation podcast. You bring relevant news bits and whatnot, and you have those set up, and then you schedule a little bit of shit around time around that. That's something. But if you're just doing a shit around thing,
If
why
we're
are
gonna
you trying to
talk
bring
about
random
that behind
topics?
the stage stuff, shouldn't we cut the podcast?
Yep, I'm gonna start.
Yeah.
But
Well, I hope everyone
like hearing
enjoyed
about
this week's
bullshit.
podcast.
Mhm.
Even if it was a little bit quiet here and there.
Yeah.
Be seeing you all next
Take it
week.
easy, guys.
Next Friday. Goodbye.
In before Gremlin
Bye.
seizes